Hello and welcome. We're going to talk about something that is absolutely critical to our health as we get older, especially for those of us navigating life after 60, and that's our liver. We're going to uncover 7 very common foods that a lot of us eat daily that might be secretly doing some serious damage. So let's jump right in.
So let me just start by asking you this. Is it possible that your everyday diet, the food you don't even think twice about, is actually harming your body's biggest internal organ? It's a sobering thought, but one we really need to consider.
Your liver is really the unsung hero of your body. It's a total powerhouse doing over 500 different jobs, from cleaning your blood to helping you digest food. But here's the thing about heroes. They often suffer in silence. Your liver can take a lot of punishment before it ever sends out an SOS. That's exactly why we have to be proactive, particularly as we age. It's not just a good idea, it's essential. All right, first up, let's talk about the sweet stuff. And I don't just mean the obvious culprits like candy. We're diving into the sweet deception, how those sugars hiding in plain sight are putting a massive strain on your liver. Okay, our first food might not be a surprise, but its impact is huge. We're talking about sugary sodas, and this is the one that gets a lot of people, fruit juices. These drinks are everywhere, right? So many people have one every single day, and they have no idea what it's really doing inside their bodies. So here's the play-by-play. When you drink one of these, it's like opening the floodgates. A massive wave of sugar just slams into your liver. It's way too much for it to handle at once, so its only option is to convert all that extra sugar into fat. This process is a direct line to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, a condition where your liver literally gets packed with fat, causing inflammation and serious damage. And honestly, it's becoming an epidemic. All right, next on the list are those processed sweets and, you guessed it, a ton of breakfast cereals. The big bad wolf you need to look for on the ingredient list here is high fructose corn syrup. It's super cheap for companies to use, so they sneak it into everything. Now, high fructose corn syrup is particularly nasty for your liver. You can think of it like a stealth bomber. It flies right under the radar of your body's normal metabolic processes and makes a beeline for your liver, where it basically tells your liver cells, hey, start storing more fat. And the most deceptive part? You'll often find it in products screaming low fat on the front of the box, tricking you into thinking you're making a healthy choice. It's anything but. Okay, moving on from sugar, let's talk about another danger zone. All those salty and processed foods that we reach for when we're in a hurry. The convenience is tempting, but the hidden strain they put on our liver is pretty significant. So, food number 3, processed meats. Yep, we're talking about the deli slices in your sandwich, the bacon you have with your eggs, the hot dogs, the sausages. For millions of us, this is just normal, everyday food. These foods are like a 1-2 punch for your liver. First, you've got all that sodium, which makes your body hold on to water. That can raise your blood pressure and put a ton of strain on the liver. Then, on top of that, your liver has to work in overdrive to filter out all the chemical preservatives they're packed with. All that extra work can lead to chronic inflammation and damage. And if you need a hard number to really let this sink in, here it is. Some studies suggest that eating processed foods every single day can increase your risk of liver damage by as much as 40%. Let that number sit with you for a second. 40%. Suddenly that convenient lunch doesn't seem so harmless, does it? All right, let's move on to food number 4, canned soups and those ready-made frozen meals. They seem like such a lifesaver on a busy night, but they are often a Trojan horse for liver-damaging ingredients. See, to make those foods taste good and last forever on a shelf, they are absolutely loaded with sodium. A constant barrage of salt like that can contribute to something called fibrosis. That's a fancy word for the liver tissue getting stiff and starting to scar. This scarring squeezes the blood vessels inside the liver, making it incredibly hard for it to do its job properly. So let's pivot to our third category, fats. Now, it is so important to remember that not all fat is your enemy. But the types of fat we're about to get into can just completely overwhelm your liver's ability to cope. And food number 5 is no stranger to any of us, fried and fast foods. You know the ones: French fries, fried chicken, onion rings. They might taste amazing, but that taste comes at a steep price for your liver. Just imagine your liver is a very fine filter. The saturated fats in these foods are like pouring thick grease into that filter. It's just hard to process. It gums up the works. This buildup kicks off an inflammatory response, not just in the liver, but all over your body. And if that keeps happening over and over, that chronic inflammation can lead to permanent scarring called cirrhosis. And that is serious, irreversible liver damage. We have made it to our final section, and these last two are real heavy hitters. They present a major challenge to our liver health, and that challenge only gets bigger as we get older.
Food number 6 can be a real shocker for some people. It's refined grains. We're talking about the basics: white bread, regular pasta, and white rice. The problem isn't the grain itself, but what's been done to it.
You see, these grains had been stripped bare of all their fiber and most of their nutrients. Without that fiber to slow things down, your body digests them super fast. What does that mean? It means they hit your bloodstream almost exactly like pure sugar, causing a massive blood sugar spike that puts your liver on high alert. Just by making a simple switch to whole grains, which are full of fiber, you completely change that whole dangerous dynamic for the better. And that brings us to our 7th and final food, or drink rather. This one is probably the most famous enemy of the liver: alcohol. This quote right here says it all. The moment alcohol enters your body, your liver sees it as a poison. Its response is to drop everything else it's doing, all those other 500+ jobs, and focus all its energy on getting rid of that toxin. For an aging liver, which might already be a bit slower, even what we consider moderate drinking can be a huge burden, day in and day out. Okay, that was a lot of doom and gloom, I know, but the point of this is not to scare you, it's to empower you. So let's talk about what you can do. Let's talk about your path to protecting this incredible organ and taking back control of your liver health, starting right now. It comes down to 3 simple, powerful actions. 1, become a detective in the grocery aisle. Really just start reading the labels. Look for those hidden sugars, that insane sodium content. 2, make whole foods the star of the show. Fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, the real stuff. And 3, please have an honest chat with your doctor at your next visit. Ask them about your diet and your liver. These are small steps, but believe me, they create a powerful shield for your liver. So I'm going to leave you with this one question to really think about. You don't have to change your entire life overnight. Just what is one small change you could make today that will lead to a healthier liver tomorrow? Maybe it's swapping that daily soda for a glass of water, or choosing the whole wheat bread instead of the white. Whatever it is, that one little decision could be the first step toward a much healthier future. Thank you so much for your time.